so frightening. And I just kept saying, this isn't me. This isn't my house. This isn't happening to us.
The fire spread in minutes. The damage took 5 months to repair. It started in Karen Clardy's garage and jumped into the walls and into the attic.
Smoke just billowed out. I mean, you could hardly see in the neighborhood. The smoke was so bad.
The first sign of trouble, a popping sound, and then the lights went out in the house. Karen went to the garage to check the electric panel.
And I could see the flames shooting through the keyholes in this box.
The box was a brand fire investigators had heard of before, a Federal Pacific stab lock electric panel installed in thousands of homes in the DFW area before 1981.
And right here, we have a lot of heat damage, continues on up here.
Mark Goodson is an engineer who investigated the Clardy's fire for an insurance company. It wasn't the first he'd seen involving a Federal Pacific panel.
We have seen people injured, burned, but we have also seen houses range from a small fire in a closet to almost completely burned down.
When a circuit breaker gets overloaded and starts to overheat, the breaker is supposed to shut off on its own. That's to prevent a fire. But Mark Goodson and other engineers who've studied Federal Pacific breakers say some of them don't work the way they should.
On some of these breakers, the heat will be generated as it should be, indicating a problem, but the breaker never cuts off. It just stays on.
One study by a New York engineer, Jesse Ehrenstein, looked at nearly 1,500 Federal Pacific breakers and found about 1 out of every 4 failed to trip when overloaded, creating a fire risk. Federal Pacific is no longer in business, but in the 1980s, the company notified the Consumer Product Safety Commission that many of its circuit breakers did not comply with UL requirements. UL is a testing service that checks the safety of electric products. But even though the boxes didn't meet those standards, Federal Pacific still claimed they were not a fire hazard. The CPSC never took action to force a recall. Instead, the agency shut down the investigation and put out this news release saying they didn't have the money to study the issue. Karen Clardy was stunned to learn there was no recall, no warning.
I can't believe that they have kept this almost like a secret.
Just last week, the CPSC issued a new statement. It tells electricians, homeowners, home inspectors, and realtors to read the 1983 news release more carefully, pointing out the commission closed the matter without making a determination as to the safety of FPE circuit breakers or the accuracy of the manufacturer's position on the matter. The release warns people never to overload any electric circuit and to call an electrician when in doubt. Mark Goodson says that's not enough.
I think the studies that were started need to be finished, and at that point in time, then CPSC needs to decide how to rectify the situation.
A CPSC spokesman tells us we have a very limited budget and resources. Reopening the investigation would be a significant decision due to the amount of time and staff that would need to be dedicated to such an effort. So with no clear government decision on the safety of the panels, thousands of them are still out there.
You see this all the time? All the time, every day.
Dallas Home Inspector Bob Charvaz tells customers to replace any Federal Pacific panel to be safe.
I think there should be some type of more general warning about it to the general public, but it all comes down to, who's going to give that warning.
At least one local electrician is running ads now saying Federal Pacific panels are unsafe and offering a discount on replacements. And in neighborhoods, word is getting out.
Just heard through the internet and neighbors and word of mouth that it was, maybe unsafe, so we decided to upgrade.
Karen Clardy shared her story because she wants everyone to look closely at the box in their garage or bedroom closet.
Because you pay such a big price if you just don't take care of this.
Scott Friedman, NBC5, Dallas.